Jay, after seeing that display, Spurs were woeful, right? Rather, the question is it more that Spurs were woeful or Liverpool were that brilliant?
It's a combination of both, right, Chuck? But man, I don't want to take away from Liverpool, but Ange Postecoglou Spurs. No, man.
Not the
no.
one.
Who's the centre back who's recently come in?
Dragusin,
right? So when you look at the goal, and I would like analyzing. If you analyze the fifth goal that Liverpool scored, Dragusin jumps from his centre back position and he goes to press in the middle of the park. He doesn't get to the player, and I saw Spurs do this a couple of times where they go and press. Same thing with the goal that came from Trent when he hoofed it forward and Szoboszlai won the header, and I believe it was Salah who scored that goal.
Yeah.
Chuck, you go to press, but you don't actually get to the player. So you are in the middle of nowhere, which means you are a sitting duck and you've put everybody else, the whole defensive chain, in a compromised position. Because when Dragusin goes there, now there's a gaping hole in the middle of the defense, which first is exploited by Szoboszlai and then by Mohamed Salah. So you look at that, and as I'm saying, it happened with that other goal I mentioned. There was also an opportunity with Szoboszlai. He missed the chance where on the halfway line, a simple ball from Alisson over the top of the defense where they're defending by the center line, and Szoboszlai was through on goal. As simple as that. And then the coach Ange Postecoglou has the unmitigated goal. He's got the confidence, Chuck, which I don't know where he gets from, to say delusion. He's just going to continue playing like that.
Delusion.
It's absolute delusion. Like, Ange Postecoglou, wake up and smell the coffee. It's not working, especially after you shipped 6 goals. Because, Chuck, I really do think there's a bunch of those goals where they really could have done better defensively. And I know you can say this about a lot of goals that are scored, because most in football is a low-scoring game, and most goals come from defensive mistakes, right? But there are some mistakes where you're looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, come on, guys. Come on. Just do the bare minimum here and ask these world-class players to go over and above, or to exhaust their talents in order to get past you. Don't give things to them on a platter. And that is what Spurs were doing, Chuck.
Yeah.
But that was also, as I'm saying, to take nothing away from Liverpool, because Liverpool turned up to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and recognized that, these guys want to go toe for toe. Like, guess what we're going to do? We might not have shown it as we have in the past under Jurgen Klopp, but we still are savants when it comes to the counter-attack. And the way in which Arne Slot set up for me, Chuck, that 4-2-4, where Szoboszlai was a wonder in this game. I keep mentioning him because I really wanted to see what his XG was after this game, because he kept on having chance after chance after chance. If it's not for him to take a shot at goal and score the goal himself, it was to set up other players. And the way that him and Mo Salah were crossing, with Salah coming into the middle and him going wide, and the same thing with Diaz, because Diaz was also playing centrally, and they're overloading that front line with Gakpo being the left wing and Diaz swinging from the middle, going out around the outside on the right hand side for his final goal as well. Arne Slot looks like the real deal, and the manner in which he set up to exploit what Ange Postecoglou was doing was brilliant. It was like par excellence. But I cannot get away from the fact that Ange Postecoglou, as you say, is delusional and does not have a bone of pragmatism in him. He just keeps going and going and going, and his players seem all too happy to just play like that. It must be a lot of fun, right? But I don't know how much fun it actually is when you are copying these kind of scores and you just keep conceding goals. So I do think the log leaders are really good for their lead at the top of the log, that is Liverpool. But I can't help but come away from that match against Spurs thinking to myself, man, Spurs really are just giving themselves up to be had like that.
Yeah, Jay, when you look at that display, I mean, I'm also with you in terms of Liverpool were great, but when you look at Spurs, man, there's a lot that's left to be desired. Because, I mean, look, Mo Salah is great, probably one of his best season. I mean, because he's got goals and assists in the double figures already in this season, right? Luis Diaz, seems to be finding a bit of form. Gakpo couldn't find the back of the net, but he was menacing. But for me, Jay, when you've got McAllister and you've got Szoboszlai as goal threats regularly, that means there's something broken in your midfield. Metasa was not getting close. Papi Metasa was not getting close to anyone. Basuma had a horrible game, could not pass to save his life, hence the 6 goals.
And then he's not tracking back.
Not tracking back at all. So it makes sense if Trent is a threat because he overlaps, if Salah is a threat. But if the central midfielders, apart from Gravenberg, are having a field day, that poses questions in terms of how you guys set up. If you think about it, Jay Spence had a decent first half, like first 20 minutes. He was stopping Salah and he was quite good. But at the back, in terms of what's around him, you can't stop a train by yourself because it's all crumbling all around him. Because I just think Dragiston is not playing at a level that shows of his experience. Or Gray, who's next to him, Archie Gray, if I'm not mistaken, he's wet behind the ears and he has to deal with Salahs and the Van Dijks and the Gravenbergs and all that stuff. And then Pedro Porro was a shadow of himself. He didn't have any bit of confidence going forward because Spurs were just watching Liverpool play football. And so I think they need to be a bit more pragmatic. I think they need to think about the situation because I get it with Manchester. They're in a rut. They can't help it but lose. But if you can score 5 against Southampton and put United away at the FA Cup, play some football, you can get to Liverpool. Don't just lie there. Also, word of warning: if Son is moving, don't buy him. I from those displays, man, you can't beat his man. You can't run past anyone anymore. He was not really a threat. So
Chuck, are
he's
you
on the
saying
market.
Heung-min Son is finished?
Oh, it looks like it, man. Because I've thought about the idea of putting him in my FPL team, but every time I'm like, no, I've been vindicated because he offers not that. I mean, the only thing that was
Breaking
right.
news.
The only thing that was right in Spurs' side was Madison who was trying because he got the goal, and maybe Jet Spence who tried. Fraser Foster's not the deputy. We get it. When Vicario is fit, he comes back. Fine, you can fix that. But when Bentancur is fit, who are you going to partner him with? Bissouma, mistake. Sa, mistake. So there are question marks all over that side. And at least if he was pragmatic and he held fort or had some defensive shape, he'd be better.